Hi, Ladybugs. How's everybody doing? So I had somebody on my comments who wanted to see some more ology books, so I figured we'd do that tonight. We'd go through some of the ology books and I did order the book. I couldn't find my copy of Where the Red Fern Grows, so I ordered it today and it'll be here tomorrow. So by the end of the week, we'll be able to do our first Reborn story time. So here's Wizardology, and I actually have a couple Wizardology books. They're not the same book, they're different books. But I'll show you what I have. And then I have a little one that's Wizardology. Let's see. Oh, this one is Wizardology too. Okay, so we have 4. All right, so first we have the big Wizardology book, and you can see how pretty this is. There's like a crystal ball in the center. And then again, this is very interactive. So you have there's like a letter in here that you can take out and read. As you can see how cool these books are. And then this folds out and you have a big map. And this one folds out as well, I think. Yep. So this is a map that says, a map of the locations of wizards in the known world. And I'll show you guys the map. So that's the map. And then this says South American wizards, European wizards, and it has like little blurbs about them. And then this is chapter 3, the Wizard's Workshop. So it tells you what things are. And then there's a little book on the table here, so you can flip the pages. I think that's kind of cool. And then this does something, but you can pull it and it moves. Yeah, so they're really cool books. As I said before, it says, as in a magic mirror, I have caused many images to appear in this book. Below is the likeness of my own wizard's workshop. If it seems to draw you, then perhaps you will make a worthwhile wizard, despite my serious doubt. And then here's different wizard staffs or wands. And then there's another little, this is supposed to be this piece of cloth or paper. What is it? Let's see. Oh, it's a fairy flag. So there's a piece of paper that's supposed to come from a fairy flag. So that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, it says fairy flag, wave with care. And then here's another page. Yeah, I just highly recommend these books. I think they're awesome. Let's see what this says right here. This little thing here. It says, to cast spells, one must summon the correct kind of elf, fairy, or genie to help in one's work. The magic words and other elements, such as using robes of a specific color, incenses with a particular smell, special types of wand, and so forth, associated with a spell, are merely a kind of address. To get in touch with the fairy and to ask it to do our bidding. For example, reconciliation spells involve a spirit known as Imak Yurak, who is attracted to the color green, images of doves, and the wood of the olive trees. He is summoned by repeating letters in his name over and over again while waving an olive branch over the two parties who need to be reconciled. These principles are also used to apply magic to potions and items, where the idea is to bind the elf or fairy to the potion by using ingredients agreeable to it. So, and then here's another page. You can see how beautiful these books are. I mean, regardless of, and then this, I don't know what this does, but it moves around and you can play with it. It's a dragon egg, and then on the otother side is, I think it's a dragon's head. Yeah. And they're just really fun. This is a phoenix feather right here. Supposed to be a phoenix feather. And then here's another little book. And then you have this here that opens up to a whole nother section. And then this here, this opens down and opens up, and you have a picture inside. I think that what drew me to these books in the beginning was just how interactive they are, and the kids really enjoyed playing with them. And, you know, I don't know that they actually read them when they were little, but, you know, as they got older, they read them. I especially had one daughter who was, and look at this on the back side. It's like a crystal ball, and then there's a chest here with an actual little book inside. I'll show you. It's kind of cute. Look. It's an actual little book with all kinds of writing and stuff inside. I think that's really cool. So that's the Wizardology book. And then we also got the Little Wizardology book. Now, these little books, while they're very interesting and fascinating, are less interactive because the pages aren't as thick. Like you have things like this, flip opens. But it's a really cool book. And this one goes more into like writing and wizard code and things like that. So it's kind of cool. It's called the Wizardology Handbook. Very cool. And then we have this one, which is another Wizardology book. You can see how beautiful the pages are. A Guide to Wizards of the World. And then it goes into all the different wizards. Wizards of the West. Shamans. And all that. And then this other thing that we found that's part of the Wizardology collection. This is Wizard Code Writing Kit. Learn how to write in ancient secret codes. Contains 16 sheets of notebook paper, 16 envelopes, 6 postcards, and a selection of stickers. And then here's the inside. So that's kind of cool. It's like you can use this to like do code, like, you know, like the letter, and then there's like wizard code letter. So, you know, and then inside here, if you flip this up, is where you have like your notebook paper and your stickers. And we still have everything in there. I think my daughter only used like one sheet of paper. So, and then like here's another little code if your kids wanted to write things in code. It's just kind of fun for them. And then I'll show you the Pirateology book. This is the Pirateology book. Isn't this cool? I think they're so pretty. And the compass actually moves, the little needle. And then there's a letter in here that you can do whatever with. This, you untie this and it opens up. I'll set the letter aside for a second so I don't lose it. They're real. And then this like opens up, and then this opens up. And then here's like more stuff about pirates. And then up here you have like this big map that opens up. Looks like part of a treasure map. It's kind of cool. And then they have like different kinds of pirate flags and maps. It's just really, really fun. And like this opens up here to show the rest of the map. Here's weapons, and this is supposed to be gold dust in here, this little thing there, and then this opens up. So it's just lots of fun for the kids to look at. You know, my kids were always into fantasy stuff. Here's like a nautical journal that you can look at. And then there's this unties right here, and you can open that up, but I'm not going to tie it right now. And you can see like here's another, this is a flag of, let me see, what is that? What does it say? A scrap of red pirate flag. To see it waved would have sent shivers through many a brave sailor. So this is just, I mean, some of it like when in this you can practice knot tying with these little strings, and then here's all the different knots you can tie. You know, because pirates did exist, unlike, you know, like wizards and fairies, which I know some people think they do exist. I don't know how I feel about it, but there's actually some history in this about famous pirates. So that's kind of interesting. And then this opens up. So they're just really cool books. We have a mythology book. That's one I couldn't find right now. But, and then you have like a gem in the chest at the end. I think that's kind of cool. And then you untie this and it opens up. This says... Can't read it upside down. Oh, dispatches. So anyway, there's the Pirateology book. And then we got, here's the Pirate Soul. This is not by the same company. this one here, but this is kind of cool. It's one of the ones we found that kind of matched the set, so we got it. And then it's just very well done, beautifully written. And it talks about like the life of pirates. And, you know, we're not talking about today's pirates, even though there are pirates around today. We're talking about like back in the day, old pirates. And then these open up here to do different things. So they're just very interactive, and they're just interesting. They're very cool. Like I said, most of these are written, here's another, you could practice knot tying. Here's another set of strings. Most of these are written from the perspective of like a researcher. This one in my hand is not, but a lot of them are. And then there's another compass in the back. And then there's something in here, but I don't, oh, this opens up. Let's see what's in here. I don't remember. Oh, there's a chest of treasures, and then this is just the back of the book. Anyway, there's the Piratology book. And then one of my daughters was really into dragons. So we have like 4 Dragonology books. In fact, they're not all books. This one here is Taming and Tracking Dragons. This is the book. And then over here, you actually have the pieces to build this dragon right here. Like they're all in this little envelope right here. See the pieces? And it's actually pretty good size. And we got the book, excuse me. We got the book used, but all the pieces are in there to create that little guy. And then this is the, you know, Taming and Catching Dragons. I'll show you this little book. So this is part of the ology set. Like here's just some pages to look at. I think dragons are really cool. I don't know whether dragons ever existed. I don't know if you'd call a dinosaur a dragon, but this one is really beautiful. This is not part of the ology series, but I bought it for my daughter. It's Secrets of the Dragon's Domain. And it's called Dragon World, but look at this picture. Isn't that awesome? So I had a daughter who is really into wizards and dragons and those kinds of things, Camelot. And so I got this book for her. But you can see it like Dragon Gallery. It has really cool. And it talks about dragons like they're real. You know what I mean? It like really, look at that. That's cool. It really is a very interesting book. Here's the different skins of dragons. So it's almost like it's a real, you know, it brings them to life for kids. So anyway, there's that one. And then we have this little Dragonology handbook. This is part of the ology series. It's one of the small books. They don't have very many small books, but they do have a few. And there's a little letter in there. And then some of the pages have things you can do on it, but this is mainly information. And again, it's written from like a researcher's perspective. So that's kind of cool. And then here's another. This one is really cool. So this one actually has, I think 12 little models in here that you can use, that you can build. So I think that's kind of cool. And then here's the field guide to dragons. Let me see. Is there anything in any of these? We did get some of these books used, so some of the pieces are missing for like the dragon. I don't know if any of these have the pieces in them. They might not. No, I don't think they do. But the other one, we have all the pieces. Yeah, no, there's a couple of these have pieces in them. See, there's pieces in this one. I don't know how many of them actually have the pieces in them, but this is cool. And we'll dress a baby after this. I just wanted to take a minute to show you guys these books because I think they're so cool. And then they still have the open up things and the interactive pieces. So that's kind of cool. Dragon Evolution, Extinct Dragons. So it talks about them like they really exist. And I think that's really cool because, you know, a lot of kids get into the fantasy stuff. So I just think it's really cool. So I'm going to move you just for a second so I can move Harrison out of the way. Because I want to dress Amari. So I'm going to sit her up here so you guys can have something to balance on. So those are the books. I think they're really cool. Like I said, I ordered the Red Fern Grows. It'll be here tomorrow. And we'll be able to start reading that. I'm hoping that either Friday or Saturday will be our first Reborn story time. And I'll read probably the first chapter. I love that story. If you guys have not heard it, you are in for a treat. It is a great story, a great book. I wouldn't say it's a kid's book, but it probably is like a teen book, you know, like a young reader kind of thing. So, but it's a wonderful story. It's basically about this boy who lives in the Ozark Mountains, and his family is really poor. And the story is about how he saves up money because he wants to get these 2 red bone hunting dogs. And the story is like his adventure to get the money, and then once he gets the money, the dogs enter the story, and it's his adventure with the dogs. So it's really cool. You guys are gonna like it a lot. You can watch the videos as we go and hear the story, but if you're not a patient person, you could just because we're not going to read it every day, you could just wait till I finish the book and then watch them all, like binge watch them, so you can watch the whole story all the way through. No, get back. It's kind of, I think it's fun to have someone read to you, you know? Tiny, no. It's fun to have someone read to you, you know what I mean? I think it's relaxing, and it's just, you know, it's part of our, not all of our childhoods, but some of our childhoods where it's just fun, you know? It's fun to have someone read you a story, you know? And you don't have to do the reading. You can sit back with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever, a cup of hot chocolate, and just enjoy, especially as we get into the colder months, you know, just enjoy a story being read to you. Because, I loved reading to my girls when they were little. And if you guys have any other book ideas, put them in the comments, because after I finish Where the Red Fern Grows, I want to take suggestions from you guys. I do have the Spirit Animals collection that we can read after that. Look at Amari. Isn't she pretty? But if you guys have story ideas that like you want me to read, definitely, because I love reading, definitely put them in the comments, and I'll get a hold of whatever books you guys want me to read. Okay. And we'll just do one at a time. And like I said, I think twice a week. One of my subscribers said Tuesdays and Fridays, and I think that sounds good. Might do Wednesdays and Saturdays, just because Saturday is a weekend. So it might be nice to like have a nice relaxing weekend evening where I can read to you guys, but we'll see. She looks so cute in this. Look, it's one of my favorite vintage outfits. Look how cute she is. Say mwah, aunties, huh? So there's Miss Amari. And then we're going to dress little Harrison. He looks so cute in this little outfit. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Let's put something a little warmer on him. Today was our first really cold day. Like, it was really cold. It was, like, the morning wasn't too bad, and, like, the very first part of the afternoon, but by about 2 o'clock, it had really started to come down and rain, and the temperature just took a huge dump. It was just really cold, like winter cold here today. And that's kind of the way it is in Oregon. Like, usually sometime in September, and we might have a couple nice days here and there after this. Like, it's not like it's going to be like this the whole time, but it's not very many. You know, there'll be a few nice days. We generally don't get a fall. We generally don't get a spring. Although this year we got a spring, but normally we don't get a spring. It just is cold and wet from like the end of September to the end of June. And so, like I said, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh, it was like winter cold here today. Hang on, I gotta grab a onesie. It was like seriously winter cold. It was really cold today. And that's generally how it is. You know, generally we, once the rain starts, it's just winter temperatures. Now the temperature will drop a little bit more, as we get into like the winter time. Like, you know, it'll go down and it'll be colder, but it's cold enough now. It's really chilly. So that's just the way it works, the way it is here in Oregon. Yeah, it's almost like the day, like Labor Day was beautiful, barbecue weather, you know, and then the very next day, it's like someone told nature that it was time for fall, and it just instantly got cold. Not cold, but chilly. You know, it got chilly. And then like we might have some nice days, but we won't have anything as warm as summer. Like I know some places get like an Indian summer. We don't. We won't have anything as warm as summer again. This is it. Like, that's it. We're done. So it's this time of year is hard. This time of year and the spring are the hardest times of year. This one is hard because I know we're coming up to now this really crappy, wet, cold weather. And so looking forward, that's hard to face with my disease. And then the spring is really hard because I'm just tired of it. You know, we've been doing it for months. I'm tired of it. I'm done. I want to be done with it. So those are the two hardest times of the year. I mean, I've had so much pain today just from the cold and the wet and the, you know, it's just not good weather for arthritis, which I have a lot of. It's not good weather for pain, which I have a lot of. So it's just really nasty. And this is how generally it'll be. Like I said, we might have a few nice days here and there. When I say nice, I don't mean like summer. I mean like, you know, fall. But generally, it'll be pretty rainy and cold now up until the end of June. I always hate it when summer ends. I love the summer. Even when it's really hot out, I'd much rather deal with the heat than with the pain, you know, and the pain gets so much worse. Like I can feel a huge difference in my back and hips today and like my knees and my joints and stuff from the way that it was even a week ago. You know, it's just crazy. Look at him. He looks so cute. Look at that little guy. He looks so cute. There's Harrison. He's a stinker, huh? He's a stinker, huh? He's a little stinker, huh? Are you a stinker, Harrison? Yeah, so now it's just going to be cold. Tiny, stop it. Tiny, stop. Now it's just going to be cold and wet. Stop it. Stop. I had to tap them on the butt because they're being brats. No, stop it, Tiny. No. She annoys Shiloh and then he doesn't bite her, but he like snaps at her and then she cries. Like he didn't even touch her, but she yelps. That's what you guys heard. And then I tapped him on the butt because I don't know why she does that. She does this like weird wiggling belly crawl, like right in front of his face. I don't know why she does it. And I don't know why. The other thing I don't know is why it irritates him so much, but it does. It irritates him to no end and he hates it. But she does it all the time. I think it's like a submissive, like I'm going to cower in front of you kind of thing. But I don't know why he gets mad about it. Because if it's a submissive thing in the dog world, you would think that that would be something he would understand. But for whatever reason, he doesn't understand it. And it really ticks him off. And then once he gets mad, then he doesn't bite her, but he snaps at her and then she yelps. And then I have to go in and tap them on the butt because they're, you know, I don't want her to get hurt. But I also, you know, understand that it annoys him. And she knows that it annoys him. I just don't understand why it annoys him. Yeah. And I've tried to do some research and look it up and talk to vets, and nobody can tell me why she does it or why it annoys him. So I'm kind of at a loss with that. But, you know, she does it to the other dogs, but it doesn't annoy them like it annoys him. Like it really annoys him. Really gets him going every time. Let's get Ireland in something warmer because it's getting so chilly now, and I've just realized she's still wearing a summer dress. So let's get Ireland in something warmer. It doesn't have to be super, super warm, but we'll do something warmer. Because it's not that cold yet. Like I would say today was probably in the 50s. It feels colder, I guess, to me when it's wet and dark outside. Like it was really overcast today and cold. So good girl, Tiny. Yeah, I don't know why she does that to him, and I really don't understand why it annoys him so much. From the best I've been able to determine, it's a submissive gesture. Like, you know, she's basically saying you're in charge, which all the dogs do that to Shiloh. They all give him, you know, they all think he's the alpha, which, you know, he really is. But I just don't understand why it annoys him so much. I don't understand why it gets him going, but it does for whatever reason. And she's wearing training pants. Miss Ireland is. There she is in her training pants. The noise that you're hearing is, I think it's her armatures. I don't know. But she's always made that noise when I move her legs and stuff around. So, isn't she beautiful though? She is the Bonnie by Linda Murray. I don't think she really looks like the Bonnie. I know she is the Bonnie, but out of all the Bonnies I have, and I think I have 3 Bonnies, she doesn't really resemble the Bonnie kid as much, and I don't know why that is. I just don't see it in her, I guess. So, and the reason I think what Tiny does is a submissive thing is because she gets down, like way down on her stomach, and her belly is like touching the floor, and then she rolls over in front of his face, which I think isn't that a submissive gesture? But for whatever reason, it really irritates him, and he gets really upset about it. And then if she keeps doing it, he'll like growl at her for a few minutes, and then if she keeps doing it, then he'll kind of snap at her. Now he doesn't make contact with her; he doesn't hurt her. But I know in the past he has pinned her down and like kind of teach her a lesson kind of thing. And so I try to get in the middle of it when they do it. But I thought a submissive thing would be like a sign of respect for Shiloh. So you would think that would be something that he would, not get offended about. But he really doesn't like it when she does that. And I don't know how to make her stop it. And I don't know how to make him stop getting irritated about it. So they don't do it all the time, It's not that big a deal, but I usually just go over and kind of, I don't hit her, but I kind of give her a little flop on the butt just so that it kind of distracts her, and then she'll come to me and stop doing whatever she's doing to him. So there she is. There's my Ireland. She is such a pretty baby. I love her eyes. I know it's hard to see. She has green eyes. Let me see if I can show you guys her eyes. There's her eyes. She has beautiful green eyes, and they look really realistic. They're not like marker green, which I've seen some of those. So I like them when they're realistic. But here's Miss Ireland. Got to get her to look at you guys. There you go. She's kind of looking out of the corner of her eye, so we have to angle her. There we go. Isn't she pretty? And she can stand, because she's got the armature, she can stand unattended. So that's really cool too. All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go. I love you. I hope you have a great night. I hope you guys get some very restful sleep. We'll say our prayers. So if you're not religious, you can log off now. And if you are, let's say our prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you humbly tonight to thank you for the many blessings that we have. We thank you. Let's talk tonight, Father, about nature and the blessings that nature gives us. We thank you for making this world such a habitable place. We thank you for providing for our needs and for giving us so much beauty to look at. Nature is such a gift, and we appreciate it more than we can honestly say. But I ask that as we get into the colder season, Lord, that you protect those who are living in nature, those who are without homes, and those who are without resources. We ask that you protect them from the cold, from the rain, from any of the elements that they might face. And I ask that you put it upon our hearts, Lord, to help people any way we can. If we see someone who's homeless, maybe we bring them a blanket, or, we help them with a list of resources, that we do something to help others. We ask that you put that on our hearts, Lord, and that you are with us through all of this time as we get into the fall. I ask all of this through your Son, Jesus Christ, through Christ our Lord. Amen. So I hope you guys had a great visit, and yeah, we'll probably start Friday with the book, so that'll be fun. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.